Slavery, one of the most gruesome, dark, and horrific chapters of our history of our world. However, now we are so far removed from this chapter that the severity of this worldwide tragedy has been downplayed. In fact, in 2017, disgraced Fox News host Bill O'Reilly, when asked about the slaves that built the White House, had the unparalleled, unseasoned gall to say, "Slaves that worked here were well fed and had decent lodgings provided by the government," as well as disgraced musical genius Kanye West had the nerve to say. When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. You were there for 400 years and it's all of y'all? It's like we're mentally imprisoned. Another common saying is that if slavery was so bad, then why didn't the slaves revolt against their masters? Well, allow me to introduce you to the slaves that quote-unquote chose revolt in the face of bondage. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Haitian Revolution. Spanning from 1791 to 1804, this world's largest and most successful slave-led revolution was originally influenced by the same Enlightenment ideas that led to the French Revolution, as long as the revolution itself. The concepts of human rights, universal citizenships, and participation in governments sounded amazing at the time for French citizens. It also led to the Declaration of the Rights of Man. And the only problem was those ideas didn't apply to everybody. I can't help but wonder why this sounds so familiar. Oh yeah, that. These ideas just so happen to miss the slave populations of then Saint Domingue. You know, the same slave population that consists of 500,000 and outnumbered the French colonizers 10 to 1. The same slave population that made Saint Domingue France's most profitable colony with their exports of sugar and tobacco. That same country that was built off the backs of the black population only for them to be left out of their slice of the pie. Again, why does this sound so familiar? So, in 1791, former slave Toussaint Louverture took an army of the enslaved and rebelled against the local planters, thus kickstarting the revolution. In fact, by 1792, Louverture and the enslaved controlled a third of the island. Even after the French sent what they thought was reinforcements to the rebel-held part of the island, only to be handed a hefty L by the rebels, the deliverance of L's did come at a cost for the rebels, who lost 100,000 of their 500,000 blacks and 24,000 of their 40,000 whites in battle. During the early stages of revolutions, it drew worldwide attention, specifically from the United States, who, whenever war is the party, the U.S. is always in attendance some way, somehow. Thomas Jefferson, yes, President Thomas Jefferson, famously on the nickel, yada yada yada, that Thomas Jefferson, spoke on why he felt the revolt was occurring in a letter to French aristocrat and military officer Marquis de Lafayette, saying, "What are you doing to your colonies? They'll be lost if not more efficiently succored. Indeed, no future efforts you can make will ever be able to reduce the blacks." Translation, you kept fucking with that little study violin, and look what happened. It's quiet for y'all, you played yourselves. Even the British, who always find a way to introduce themselves to bullshit, brought their reinforcements in 1793. They received a 5-year supply of even heftier L's that led them to getting the fuck out while they still could in 1798. With the British running away with their tails and crumpets between their legs, the French vacuum, Toussaint Louverture was free to do basically whatever he wants. And what do generals with nothing to do and no one to stop them do? Conquer. Louverture did exactly that in 1801 when he took his revolution to Santo Domingo, the Dominican Republic, when they were still under Spanish rule. Before his revolution moved to newer pastures, he spoke what would end up being his final proclamation, with a very clear message of death before dishonor. Brave military personnel, generals, officers, non-commissioned officers, and soldiers, do not listen to the evil ones who ask nothing better than to do you harm in order to have a pretext to dishonor you. Attached to the soil of this country, unite yourselves with your chief to render it fruitful and to preserve it in its current state of prosperity. Even on the path of honor, I will show you the route you must follow. You are soldiers. You must be faithful observers of the subordination and military virtues and must vanquish or die at your post. Yeah, this guy plays no games. The revolution abolished slavery in the colony, and Louverture appointed himself Governor General, overseeing the combined colonies of the island now named Hispaniola. Now imagine being my guy Toussaint. You just freed hella slaves. You oversee an entire island. You racked up more kills than a fat kid playing Call of Duty. Life couldn't be any better. What could possibly go wrong? It's not like an overcompensating, power-hungry lunatic could come try to stop him. No, not that one. No, not that one either. Yeah, that one. You should have seen this coming by this point in the story. After the ruler of France, Napoleon, set his sights on the former colony that had once brought France such prosperity. He, however, was too busy doing French ruler stuff. Side note, I tried to find a picture of Napoleon being fed crepes or baguettes or something stereotypically French, but such a picture does not exist, sadly. Anyway, since Napoleon was busy not being fed crepes, he was sent his brother-in-law, General Charles Leclerc, and 43,000 French troops to handle those unruly former slaves and put them back in bondage, stating, "My decision to destroy the authority of the blacks in Saint-Domingue, Haiti, is not so much based on the considerations of commerce or money, yada yada yada, as on the need to block forever the forward march of blacks in the world, and to restore the rightful glory of the French," and yeah, they failed to. However, they did manage to capture our hero Louverture and send him to French jail, where he eventually died. Yeah, not really an honorable end for our revolutionary, but in the words of my personal hero and favorite revolutionary Huey P. Newton, you can jail the revolutionary, but you can't jail the revolution. One of Louverture's top generals and rightful owners and one of the coolest names in the history of, well, history, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, took the rebel army into what was later referred to as the Battle of Versailles, which was the demise of the French army. Victorious and now in charge, Dessalines officially claimed independence, and with that independence came, of course, another name change, because 2 and 12 years just wasn't enough. Thankfully, this is the last one because it's now called what we know as Haiti. Now 100% slave-free and black as fuck. Haiti was now the second left hemispherian, pretty sure that's not even a word, but hey, that's what was put there, hemispherian nation to get a Euro nation the almighty eviction notice and establish independence. So yeah, that's the Haitian Revolution. It's a lot more complex than just a bunch of angry slaves just going around killing white folk. It even had some effect far from Haiti. Prime example, the Haitian Revolution was the last straw of Napoleon's West Hemispherian conquest mission. If it was not for the Haitians, the heist of the century, the Louisiana Purchase, would not have even happened. Napoleon took all 5 feet of himself, his measly 15 million, and stuck to the croissants and the Eiffel Tower he's used to. This has been High History, the Haitian Revolution, as told by Kevin Pearce. Thank you for listening.